have you learned that you could get people started with helping them identify their one thing?
So hopefully when you read that question twice, some people listening to this immediately had an answer. The one thing maybe as a parent or as a spouse or professionally or as a leader. And they knew that that answer was that thing that if they were doing it, they would be having far better results than they are today. So the first step is identify what your one thing is, because if you don't know it, your one thing is figuring that out. So having that in hand, an answer, and it's an activity, not a state of being. If you want to reduce stress, that's not that's an outcome. That's not an activity. So our goal is, I'm going to meditate. I'm going to meditate for X hours a week or whatever. So the next thing that I do, we call it time blocking, is that you put that commitment on your calendar. It doesn't exist unless it's on your calendar. And our calendar becomes our boss. We just follow our calendar because our calendar reflects our priorities. So let's just go with the meditation thing. I'm going to meditate, let's call it 5 minutes a day. The minimum, the smallest possible domino, using our metaphor, to start getting momentum and building that habit. You don't start with 2 hours. You start with something you know you can accomplish, and you time block that early in the day. And then you just start protecting and living those time blocks. I think most people on this call have had a period in their life. Maybe they have to go all the way back to school when they're studying for their final exams or whatever, or they're preparing to run a marathon or something that was so important, everything else in their schedule revolved around it. I know what those times are. This is how we're playing right now. You're making a stand around that time block. In our experience and in the research we share in the book, when people identify their activity and then do this extra step of navigating their time about when and where they're going to do it, which is a calendar invite in my world, they're 3 times more likely to achieve their goal. So it's not terribly complicated. We said it was the simple truth, right? And some people underestimate it because it's not complex or sophisticated. Identify that key activity, put it on your calendar, hopefully before noon, as early as possible, and start building a habit of doing it and make a stand around that. You'll